Welcome to the event. We're really happy that you're here. We're about to go live in just a few moments. But before we lift off, there's a few important things we want to make sure that you're aware of so you get the best possible experience out of this. First of all, the sound current is supremely important to us, the musical experience. So if possible, we really encourage you to use good speakers or headphones to experience the class with. Second, if you have any pre-existing injuries, please take care of yourself, modify as you need to. Don't risk exacerbating an injury because of a yoga exercise. If you have any pre-existing medical conditions and you're not quite sure if this would be good for you, please consult with your primary healthcare practitioner and make sure it's the right thing for you. Also, make yourself relatively comfortable. You can use a cushion, and in fact we encourage you in our seated positions, meditation practices, to use a cushion. It helps lift the heart up, keep the spine straight, and it's more ideal for the flow of energy in the body and for the meditation experience. You can even be sitting in a chair with feet flat on the floor for those of you that are unable to sit in a meditative sitting posture on the floor. Just use a chair, and for many of the exercises that will work perfectly fine. And then lastly, if you're having any problems with the video streaming, try refreshing the page, or if you see a gear icon on the video, adjust your resolution. If you're new to this type of thing, just take care of yourself. If there's something that you don't quite understand, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Everything that needs to click will click after a few times of trying it out. Enjoy the experience. We're about to get started in just a moment. Welcome everybody. Happy full moon time. Thanks for being here. I'm very happy to be here with all of you. Full moon time always is a good time to come together, and I always find it so helpful to just it's like a ritual. It's a ritual of coming together and doing some yoga practice, doing some meditation practice. But when you I think some of the advantages of rituals in our life is it just gives you a concentrated time and space to where you can work directly with your own life force to help to kind of keep your heart good and keep your mind good and keep ourselves happy, keep ourselves connected to what gives us self-confidence. Because the hardest thing is to lose our sense of inner confidence, isn't it? When you lose your confidence in yourself and your confidence that you're good, confidence that you're doing the right thing, that's very difficult, isn't it? We all know what that feels like. And so these are little practices and techniques to help to keep that self-confidence strong. And then the other side of that is then you kind of get the overconfidence, of course, where you feel like you know everything. And you feel like you're the best thing ever. And of course that side of it can also become a little bloated. And if that side is a little bloated, at some point it's going to have to swing back to the other side where you don't feel confident at all.
So that's kind of the pendulum of life that we all are swinging on to some degree or another. We feel great about ourselves. We feel poorly about ourselves. We love ourselves. We loathe ourselves. And all of that's totally natural, you know. Something happens in our life, like a new relationship begins. You feel pretty good about yourself because you're getting feedback from the outer world that something loves you, right? And then when that relationship, if it falls apart, God forbid, then it feels like something doesn't love you. And then it can drop the self-esteem really low. Aren't these things all of us deal with all the time? Whether it's in love relationships or it's in some other thing, your person at work you're not getting the same attention as somebody else is in whatever the work you do. And you feel like you need that. You're not in need of it. You deserve that attention, and you probably do. All of that's true. But also all of it is when we're kind of grasping at these types of things, then it makes those swings more steep. You know, they have more momentum to it. So like when things are coming together, you're just like on cloud 9. But when things are falling apart, that's when the heavy depression strikes. And this is not a critique of that. It's just what I like to do is to pay attention to the physics of it. I like to think of it like it's like practicing Dharma physics, which it means just is practicing observations of my mind's tendencies and how they cause me suffering, and then discovery of other tendencies that can make me more happy and make me more really self-confident. Because if I can stay connected to something that is not as vulnerable to coming together and falling apart for my self-confidence to sit on, then, because that's the thing in life, that's the physics of life. Things come together and things fall apart. But we don't want to think like that, because most of us have grown up on mythologies that have the togetherness as an eternal togetherness, right? Cinderella is not a temporary togetherness. She's found Prince Charming because that's an eternal togetherness in our minds, isn't it? Because we feel good when we think about those stories. And it's not that those stories are false, actually, but they're stories, and they're mythological stories. And so those stories can actually be quite helpful if we're also experiencing our own life as a mythological story. And that eventually you find, actually, fairly quickly, that the things that seem to be able to sustain our happiness don't sustain our happiness at all. I was rewatching just last night this documentary, the Shangri-La documentary that is centered around Rick Rubin, the great record producer. And he's working with all these great artists, and so many of them, of course, like the rest of us, struggle with depression. And successful people often struggle with depression even more, because what happens is, as Rick Rubin said it, he's like, you have this dream for yourself, and then your dream comes true, and it's 1 in a million. In this case, we're talking about very famous musicians and artists. So in that case, it's kind of like 1 in a million, your dream came true. And then after the initial buzz wears off, you're exactly the same as you were before the dream came true. And that's depressing. So he said the more dangerous depression is the one that happens after you've achieved your dreams. It's true. And you don't have to be famous rock star for that to be true, because that's true for all of us. Because it's true on a basic level, isn't it? Like all of us, because we have our karmas, because it's all how our magnetics work. And so if my certain, what they call in yoga, samskaras, you can kind of think of them as almost like magnets within your aura that have been created by past tendencies. You don't have to believe in past lives or future lives for any of this stuff to be practical and useful. Because for one reason or another, your mind and your emotions have tendencies. You have each one of us, we have emotional tendencies, and we have mental tendencies, we have feeling tendencies, we have desire tendencies, we have pushing things away from me tendencies, all of it. And And so that's kind of a part of how our magnetism operates, is we're attracted to some things and we feel repelled away by other things. Now, to discern between what is my intuition, what is really my heart saying, versus my tendencies, is the job of yoga practice. Because that discernment isn't always easy at first, but it is easy when you bring yourself into meditative awareness more consistently. It becomes quite apparent what is my intuition and what is not. And my little thing is always, if I'm wondering if it's intuition or not, that's not intuition. You see what I mean? You might get a glimpse of intuition and it creates a thought that you wonder, is that a thought representative of my intuition? My experience of intuition, it's a knowing that's beyond rational. It's a feeling. It's not a thinking experience. Because often, even in yoga, we think intuition related to the Ajna Chakra, the 2 petals of the third eye. And that the intuitive mind, and it absolutely is part of the intuitive mind. But I'm just speak from my experience. Intuition is not something that's really happening up here, but something that happens as a feeling that encompasses all of me, actually. Now, as a kriya and as a technique and as a practice, in order to open up the pranic channels and open up the more subtle channels of the psyche, so the intuitive mind is more available on a regular basis, is just an ordinary part of who we are and what we're about. It's not that some human beings have intuition and other human beings don't have intuition. Intuition is innate to us as human beings. And so all of this yoga practice is a way of getting the life force well centered in the organism, in your central nervous system, so that the magnetic energy is balanced and strong. That gives a nice intuitive mind. You'll notice then when your energy gets nice and centered, that the body becomes feeling quite blissful. And it's like vitality. It's the bliss of vitality that happens, which is a nice high. A nice high when you can find at least one of the ways you get lifted is something that adds vitality to your body, adds vitality to your mind. And so the nervous system is actually getting stronger. The endocrine system is having more balance to it. The mind can be more relaxed, and you'll have a better time in life. That's the thing. It's not about some uptight spirituality, I think people see like people like me with like the this and the this, and it feels like it has to be like something. It does not. It's just a human thing. It's about being, each one of us being ourselves, but being able to witness and experience the brilliance of ourselves and the importance of our life, without exception, any of us. And that each of us has a great story to live, not to tell, but to live. We tell it through our life. We're the ones also getting to experience it. And so then you realize that there is, a Cinderella mythology that is real. But that courtship's not one that happens in the outside. That courtship is one that happens through your own inner experience. Maybe Cinderella's not the best one. But even that outer journey that we're wanting to unite with another person is this thing of acknowledging that that's not where I'm going to find ultimate fulfillment doesn't make me have less of a relationship. In fact, it's the total opposite of that. Now you can actually have a relationship because now you're no longer putting unrealistic weight on that other person to fulfill something they'll never be able to fulfill. Never. It's not happening. They'll fulfill some things, snuggles, love. But at the end of the day, you got to pass through the doorway on your own, the DEATH doorway. It's so heavy, I had to spell it. I felt like spelling it and said, do I want to say it and kill the vibe? But it won't kill the vibe. It opens things up. That's the beautiful thing of all this, is all the things that we thought are terrible all along the way, actually things that open you up to all of life. Amazing. It's good news. It's good news. But of course, it's only news to turn it into our experience and turn it into our wisdom. That's something that is not my philosophy, but actually it's my feeling. That's what we want, don't we? We don't want to have a belief system. We want to have a feeling of what we already believe and what we want to believe. So then we have to test these things enough by our own experience. Like Guru Nanak uses the metaphor of like fashioning a coin. And you have the hammer and the anvil, and he says your hammer you hammer it with your own experience to create like the coin or the gold of what it is that you're trying to experience. What are we all trying to experience? We're trying to experience love and prosperity and fulfillment and joy and happiness. But we all know we can't turn away from difficult things, because if you turn away, there's no turning away. You turn that way, there they are. You turn this way, there they are. You can't get away from difficult things. And so therefore, what you can do is consider the possibility that even the difficult things are there to help somehow. And then somehow it's not conceivable of what we can't totally understand. Certain things just inconceivable. Why try to understand these things? Because life is to be enjoyed. And then we try to understand everything so much it gets really heady. And so what we want to try to do tonight is get in the feeling space, into the energy space, but into the body space, into the intuitive space, so we can experience the magnetism on the full moon. It's a fantastic time because everything is kind of overflowing on the full moon. But full moons aren't always easy, because it's like, you ever been on the beach during the peak of high tide? What's that energy like? You're not really trying to swim, unless you're surfing or something like this. So if you can surf these types of energies, they can be fantastic. And that's the idea in the full moon. Even in Vedic astrology, they normally don't recommend, like, full moon's not the best day for something because it's edgy. But what it is good for is sadhana, dharma practice, spiritual practice, meditation practice, yoga practice. And it makes that kind of, you take that strong energy and you use it in a way that actually opens you. That's pretty good, because then 2 weeks from tonight is the new moon, and will be a ring of fire solar eclipse that will cross down from the top of the United States to the bottom corner of the United States. Then in the spring, you're going to get a second totality eclipse that's going from the bottom of the United States up to the top right northeast of the United States. Both of them get, Texas gets both. Seems appropriate somehow. But it's going to crisscross the United States. And these things, if you pay attention to them enough, they do have effects. And their effects aren't insignificant. But it's not ominous in the sense of some bad omens. But it does represent great change. And things are always changing. So to get on that happiness train, you also got to get on the change train. Embracing of change, the change train. That sounds pretty good. Okay, let's start some exercises. So we're going to do some exercises, make our spine nice and supple, feel good, put our breath into the body, put our body and breath and rhythm together, get the life force chi moving, do some exercises, do this meditation, feel fantastic, tell you about the eclipse event coming up, and have a beautiful night. How's that sound? Come onto the hands and knees. And you'll start at cat-cow. That's inhaling, the head is up. And exhaling, the head is down. Yes, make a nice suppleness of your spine. Just your place likely at first, but your job here is to just try to listen to the breath, and the focal point in which you endeavor to anchor your mind on is your breath current. Head is up. Exhaling, the head is down. Nam. Use your breath through your nose. Another 15-20 seconds. Create a nice rhythm. Inhale, head is up. Exhale, the head is down. Good, and come sitting up and cross-legged. And those of you at home, you want to sit on a chair, just sit on a chair, have your feet flat on the floor. Okay, try this. You're gonna come sitting tall, hands on the shoulders, like so, like this. And then you're gonna have a nice sit bones connected down to the earth, chest lifted up. Then it's a nice swing to the left on the inhale and a swing to the right on the exhale, like a and you just let it swing. To the center, inhale deeply. Suspend the breath in. Exhale. Okay. Hands on your knees. So with all these exercises, it's like that one. It's inhale left, exhale right, some inhale forward, exhale back. Just doing your best. It's very natural for when you're doing yoga exercises, you're working with your breath, you're moving your chi, the mind will start to react. And as the subconscious mind gets stirred up a little bit. And so sometimes you feel initially it's like creating more thoughts, creating a little less relaxation, natural. It's like cleaning the house and at first everything, now, have you ever like cleaned the house and then you didn't finish? Or started to clean the house and then you didn't finish and everything's a mess, or that stage of cleaning the house where everything's more messy than when you started. It's kind of what it's like. Just keep going. By the end of this thing, feel really nice. There's no problem with feeling all over the place. There's no problem with being totally distracted. You can't do this stuff wrong in that way. So the idea, though, is to just, as soon as you notice that type of thing, anchor back into your breath. In every one of these exercises, the breath is always one of the anchors, one of your available anchors. And if you can do that, and you say, notice that your mind is just running amok, don't feel like that's something, see, I suck at this too. It's not that. No, you don't. You can't. It's impossible. You can do it or not do it, but you can't do it poorly in that way. And so when you notice, back to your breath, and that is a communication to your mind every time you do that. It's like, okay, oh my mind, back here. And so slowly but surely the mind will start to cooperate, because that prana is going to get balanced in the nervous system. And then all of a sudden you won't have to do this trick or technique anymore, because you'll feel your nice meditative intuitive awareness. And then what do? Enjoy. You enjoy it. So if you find a place where you're enjoying it, keep enjoying it. Hands on your knees. It'll be like this, like a Just first like that. You squeeze up and release. Now try this. Just let them bounce. Inhale. Squeeze up the shoulders. And release. Bravo. Nice smooth little neck rolls. This is all just opening up the central channels, starting with the spine. Other direction. Into the center, inhale. And exhale. Then the hands to the ankles or shins. It'll be just like this. So inhale, lift forward. Exhale, back. Na, sat, na, sat, na. Through the nose is the breath. Keep the face relaxed. Close the eyes. And create a nice rhythmic breath through the nose. Na, zat, na, na. Make a nice feel to the rhythm. Na. It's not just this kind of jerky mechanical exercise. It has a grace, you know. You're working with your very life force energy. You're kind of arousing the deeper creativity in your body and mind. It's a courtship. It's not something you can just, yank awake. Now keep going. The hands come to the knees. With the hands on the knees, now it's open up the middle thoracic spine. Hands back to the ankles. Lumbar, lower spine. Hands to the knees. Now deep inhale. Suspend the breath in. Close your eyes. Keep the breath in, yet relax your upper body. And allow your mind for just a moment to be relaxed and spacious. Then exhale. Yeah? Why not? Stretch your legs wide open. You're opening up the life nerve. Yeah, like Nicole here, feet are flexed. You're right on your sit bones. We're not worried about touching our toes. This isn't a touching toes thing. It's an opening your life nerve. The sciatic life nerve comes down from your spine like big roots, like from the bottom of the tree going into the earth. Big roots, and they look just like that, and your sciatic nerve is about the width of your thumb, and those coming down through the backs of your legs. The yogis call that your life nerve. Yeah, keep things open, keep things young. So you inhale, center, turn to either side, and then just fold from your waist, your navel, and lead with your heart. Then inhale up, take a deep inhalation through your nose, and then fold down the other side. Feet are flexed. energy even in the toes, but the groin areas relax. And with every inhale, you fill your lungs. Deeper the breathing if you can, please. To the center, inhale. And then just hinge forward just a little bit for a moment. Yeah, extend out through your heart, tuck through your chin. Just extend out and relax. Shake your legs out. Very nice. And come sitting again. Your hands seal into this Jnana Mudra, the index finger to your thumb. Your mouth goes like an O shape, puckered, like this. But check it out. It's a light breath, but it's a rhythmic breath, like it comes from down here. But it's not like, it's lighter, like softer. And your exhale and your inhale are of equal strength, and like that, like. You hit the rhythm. Through the mouth, now deep inhale. Now please squeeze the muscles around your spine and squeeze the fingers and arms into the position. Squeeze the spine. And through the mouth, exhale. Inhale. Suspend the breath in. Keep the breath in, but relax your upper body. Close your eyes down. And then exhale. Then relax the arms and let the eyes stay closed down. Keep the heart lifted and just observe and feel your breath, your energy, your body, your mind. Observing. Okay, almost done here with this part. Take your arms like this. This is called working with your magnetism. Fingers must be nice and firm. Sit bones connected to the earth because you have a pole at the base of your spine, pole at the top of your head, and in between those two poles does your life force move. So fingers are like this, firm. The heart is softened, shoulder blades release. It goes like this. So the breath is going to be through your nose. You come inhale up to 90 degrees and exhale back here like this. Like. fingers must be tight like steel, though. That's the thing. There's a lift of your pelvic floor even, and the shoulder blades are released down the back. When it feels a little inconvenient to keep going, that's when you're starting to kind of make the adjustments. Because you're meeting a point of resistance, aren't you? It shouldn't be exacerbating an injury. If you have a shoulder injury, a little bit like I do right now, never just do the breath part. Almost done. The fingers are looking limp in the room somewhere, but try to make your fingers firm like steel. Come on. Almost done. Watch how this changes the field of your mind once we're done. When you're in the middle of it, everything's horrible. But just wait till it's done before making the assess. What do we call it? Assessing. The assessment is very Virgo-like. Assess things. The sun is in Virgo right now. And then inhale up. Fingers firm. Shoulder blades release. Now touch the ceiling with your fingertips. Shoulder blades release. Pelvic floor lifted up. Exhale, relax. Now feel. And inhale. Exhale. And come shake your arms just a little bit like this, and then please have some water. So we do have, what we have is a season changing on the full moon with an eclipse on its way. So it's a very good time to make sure we're taking care of our vitality. And I want to do a little more of that here. And sometimes with these big webcasts like this, so yeah, do I want to make people lay down and do that type of exercise? But just one tonight. Okay, but first we're gonna do the breath together. And a lot of people, I'm sure here, have done plenty of Kundalini yoga before, and some people this is the first time ever, and then everything in between. And to me, it doesn't matter so much. This type of thing always, I feel, meets you kind of where you're at. But what I would like us to try is to do this breath in this way, just for tonight. And maybe you have other experiences with these types of breaths, but try this just for tonight, and let's have a collective experience together. And of course, within that, you have your own experience and your unique ways of doing things. So what I would like us to be doing with the breath is to try to always start out light and soft as our starting point. Depth come, as opposed to being aggressive with the breathing around. Sometimes when you're in a difficult exercise, absolutely, and that is calling for that type of breath, absolutely bring some power to it if that helps you kind of get into an exercise like the one we're about to do, where your legs are off the earth and that type of thing. And it's like, oh, holy moly. And so However, I would recommend to not make that type of aggressive approach to the breath exercises the default way of practicing, but rather soft, light, and rhythmic. The power will come out of it by putting yourself in rhythm. Because what we call in the meditation we're doing right after this is a sequence of to go from a navel point and to strengthen the magnetic field. 3 exercises and then 1 5-minute meditation that they call balances the nervous energies or the swirling energies of the body. And even if you don't feel nervous, it's advantageous because what that actually is the energy of my mind is going this way and that way and this way and that way. When the energy centers in the life force centers in the central channel, or what we call at the material level, your central nervous system. In the central nervous system, you get less fight or flight, you get more parasympathetic nervous response, everything relaxes. Now that all that energy is not being utilized and being eaten up by worries and doubts and insecurities, there's a newfound vitality that will be present for us. Simple. And it doesn't require change of belief system, change of philosophy, change of religion, change of job, any of that type of stuff. It's just a life force. And so that's the basic idea. So start soft, go into rhythm, because it's rhythm that will then help to kind of bring everything to the center point. There's 2 poles. There's a positive pole and a negative pole. In a rhythm, there's 2 points, right? Where are you going to find the 1? There's a rhythm. And then go off. There's a rhythm. And when you're in a rhythm, you're not dualized. When you really get into a groove, it's like, you feel yourself, don't you? It's like, remember when you got on the dance floor, you're feeling shy. But then if there was a really good night, that shyness went away and it was the best night ever. That type of thing. So you can do that with yourself, just with your chi. You can wake up in a badass mood. Like, badass sounds good. Bad mood. You're going to be like, this is a horrible day. And you can totally change it by changing your rhythm. I've done it again and again and again. Doesn't mean it takes away the things that are stimulating the bad mood. Your bank account still looks the same. But you come at it with a different vibe. And that will change, I think. My experience is the bank account. Yeah. TRY. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Try. Ready? So we're going to try this breath together. Come sitting tall. And then go. Start, how about try it like this? Now, like a happy dog panting, like. Hold on, everybody. Inhale. Just let the tongue be relaxed but out. Close the mouth through the nose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. There. Inhale deeply. Suspend the breath. Exhale. Try again. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale. Hit the rhythm, go. If If you can't hit the rhythm, just focus on your exhalation. Inhale. Suspend the breath. Exhale. Okay, come onto your backs. Okay, legs are together, please. And if you're not familiar, check out Nicole, please, in the stretch pose. Legs up 6 to 12 inches, head up 6 to 12 inches. If it strains your lower back, hands underneath the butt, please. Okay, take a deep inhalation. Exhale fully. The toes will be pointed once we come into the position. Eyes are on the toes, okay? It's not an easy exercise. It will require effort. One more time. First, take a deep inhalation. And then fully exhale. But your navel point is the power point for the whole nervous system and your whole chi, pranic system, life force energy. So you're going to come into the posture, take your deepest inhalation, point the toes, then... It's beautiful. Keep going. Almost there. Hold the position. Inhale deeply. And draw your navel in deeper, and relax. Okay, just one more round. Because the first one I felt like we were just kind of like feeling it out a little bit. That's what I felt like. I don't know if you agree. All right, take a deep inhale. Just one more round. Because it's the full moon, you know? A little extra to meet the extra energy. That's why hospitals are more full on a full moon. Police stations are more active on a full moon. Ask. That's a reality. It's verifiable. Take a deep inhale and come into the position. And this time, good. You got that. Hit the breath rhythm. Yeah, charge up your vitality, your magnetism. It'll work, but you have to give it something. With the rhythm, go. If it strains your low back, hands should be underneath you. Go. Inhale. And then the rectum, sex organ, up and in. Pelvic floor, up and in. Now navel deep in, and relax. Ooh, amazing job. Relax. Just for a few moments, totally relax. Let your jaw relax. Let your face muscle, your whole body muscles, and your vibe just relax. And let your body kind of integrate that new kind of energetic environment that you've introduced. Okay, hug the knees to the chest. 2 more. This time you bring the nose up towards the knees
and then the shoulder blades release down. Take a deep inhale in. Exhale, stay in the posture, but release your shoulder blades down. Otherwise, squeeze up. Inhale. Same breath, go. Hit the rhythm, go. Inhale, squeeze up. Squeeze up and release. Relax all the way down. Beautiful. Hug the knees to the chest. Rock and roll a few times. And come up. Okay, last one here. Come sitting right on your sit bones. One of the things about the Kundalini Yoga practice, the kind of trying to pay attention to some of the detail is important. And then it comes with time. But the most important thing at first is learn how to be on your sit bones. And so that's why we often use like a little cushion or something to help, or a folded up blanket, a pillow off your sofa, anything that'll kind of help you if you need it, which most of us do. Lift you up a little bit. You sit on the edge of it, so you're right on your sit bones. Therefore, you can hold your heart up high, and you can create one vertical relationship with gravity instead of sitting like this, which makes everything harder in meditation practice. So with a little time, then those muscles will start to support you, and at first it feels like such an effort to just sit tall, but that's temporary. Then as you stay with it, those muscles develop. It feels quite good to sit tall. And then you can also feel your energy flowing better. Do you think maybe the magnetism is also benefiting from this? Most definitely. Because the chi prana is your magnetism. Now it can flow with greater ease in your system. More light is coming through the eyes. More luster is coming through from the skin. More warmth coming from the presence. That's why all of us love that, you know? More creativity is flowing for you. That's the spice of life. Creativity in all things. Yeah, you gotta raise some kids, better have some creativity. So it's not just artists are creative. Who is not an artist, you know? To live life like an artist is to make life enjoyable. Take your arms up to 60 degrees. Thumbs are out, fingers are tucked. Inhale. A 60-degree angle. With the rhythmic breath, put yourself in a rhythm. Soften your gaze. Eyes are closed. There, at a certain point, it becomes very difficult to keep it. You hit that threshold, but if at that point you can kind of deepen into the breath, make it stronger if you wish. Try to keep the mind relatively relaxed, and that we do that by listening to the breath. Consciously endeavoring to relax our minds. Even though it's very difficult,
allow it to be difficult. Strengthen the magnetic field. That angle of the arms, that movement of the prana, help the life force to circulate through the system, up into the intuitive center. And the energy that's been stagnated will be destagnated. And see if at the end of this little 3 minutes, which can seem like a long time when you're in it, but there's only 25 seconds to go. Hold the position, inhale deeply. Make your thumb tips touch above your head. Fingertips stretch wide open. Lift up your pelvic floor. Release your shoulder blades. Touch the ceiling. Inhale some more. Stretch up. And then exhale. Let the arms sweep down. The breath flow just as ever it feels right, and then witness it. Your very breath current, the carrier of your life force, and observe and wonder the really miracle of a human respiration. Where does this breath come from? That which sustains us, our bodies, to stay alive. What is this life force we're tapped into that allows our bodies to be beautifully animated? And we get to live. And we get to love. And it's going to be painful sometimes along the way. And it's always worth it. Because out of even our pains comes even greater love. Out of our difficulties even will come even a greater love, you know? Okay? Beautiful. So the final meditation, I think maybe you'll love. So if you need to stretch your legs out, stretch your legs out. If you'd like to have some water, have some water. How you're going to do it is this. You take your right hand and you press it against the back of your left hand with your thumb tips touching. And that'll be held at your heart center, the center of the chest, with the shoulder blades released. And you see how my forearms are parallel to the ground. Like that. The shoulder blades are released down. So you try to keep everything up here relaxed as best as you can. And instead of being tight up here, transfer that tension to be strong in like a gentle lift of your pelvic floor, or the feeling like that your sit bones are pressing down into the earth. You can just kind of press them down if you can feel that, and release your shoulder blades so you can sit tall, but your arms being held up is supported from down here, not up here. Best as you can. At first times doing this stuff is you're just doing whatever you can do. But as you go along, knowing that these are the refinements that happen, you won't make tension in your upper body, but in fact it'll open things up and you have less and less tension in your upper body, even though you did that for 3 minutes. But did you see at the end, do you feel more tense? It's like, nah, it's nice. Most of the time, everybody says it's nice and open. It's a magnetic field. You can feel it. So it's like, good, feel your energy current. It's the beautiful stuff. So what you're going to do in this case is you're going to take a deep inhalation through your nose, and you're going to suspend the breath. Okay? And then when you need to, you're going to exhale through the nose. And then you're going to suspend the breath out. You're going to push all the breath out. And then you're going to keep it out as long as you can. But notice that you'll still be alive. And then you're going to inhale. But here's the thing, you don't wait till you're gasping for air to start the inhale. You can test your breath capacity a little bit, but you also want to be able to do this for 5 minutes. So if you make it too difficult for yourself, it's going to be difficult to do it for 5 minutes. Okay, so be easy with yourself and gentle and compassionate with yourself. This is not self-improvement work. This is self-nourishing work, self-love work, self kind of exalting work. It's like, oh yeah, that's what I am all about. And it was just a short circuit in the system. And once everything felt connected, I was like, oh yeah, I am cool. But I forgot for a minute, My life is important. I do have creativity. I do have passions. I do have things I love. I have interests that I want to pursue. I have things that I want to experience. But when we get really depressed, we lose track of all those things that keep us alive, really. To have things you want to do in life keeps you alive. And so that's why we get older and we retire, And then less things statistics show, if there's not something else that is being a vehicle for that creativity, then the life expectancy goes down. And so always doesn't mean work our asses off all our life, but it means have good vehicles for our creativity. The best part of life, I think, vehicles for creativity. Okay, so that's your posture, and that's what you're doing. You're inhaling, you're suspending the breath. And then you're exhaling and you push all the breath out and you suspend the breath out. Okay? Everybody got it? Try it. And then when you need to inhale, you inhale again. And you keep going like that for 5 minutes. So you're going to close your eyes down. Try to keep your body nice and tall, but relax your shoulder blades. And soften the chest. And you're inhaling deeply, suspending the breath until you need to exhale. All of it's only through the nose. And push all the breath out through your nose. And then you keep the breath out. Then you inhale when you need to. And you continue in that way. The air must go all the way out on the exhalation so that all the heart valves get equal pressure. And the brain and central nervous system will trigger their survival systems for a few moments. It brings your whole nervous system and glandular system into greater balance. Eyes are closed. If you'd like, you can allow them to open ever so slightly, letting a touch of light to come in, but keeping your awareness inward and not expecting anything in particular to happen. Your only real job is to maintain the position as still as possible, lifted tall yet soft. And for these few minutes, your entire attention onto the breath. In order to do this breath, exhaling all the way out, not leaving any of the breath in, you'll need to give it your full attention. You can't do it so well when it's being phoned in. And yet the mind, it may be wandering. No problem. As soon as you notice, back to the breath. And that in and of itself, the magic happens. not so long now. If possible, try not to budge or fidget. And the mind will probably protest that idea. But do I have to listen to that part of my mind right now? Or can I dip down into a deeper well and connect directly with my breath, my energy, and use this simple exercise to create a revitalization and of a meditative state? It's not so much longer. See if you can enjoy. It's very cool. And it does provoke sometimes the mind, and it feels agitating a little bit because we're not used to just sitting still and being singularly focused. But that's the power in it. It's training yourself to be singularly focused, and you get more power, personal power. This beautiful posture has a regal energy. You hold it nice and tall, holding it with a feeling of, how beautiful you are. Maybe you don't feel that, then make a body language that communicates that anyways. Less than 60 seconds. Stay with the breath. Inhale deeply, hold the position just like you are. Suspend the breath in and lift through the root lock. There's a rectum, sex organ, and navel up and in. Breath suspended in, torso relaxed, mind spacious. Hold the position and through your nose, exhale. Now please, through the nose, your deepest. Inhale. Suspend the breath in. Lift your pelvic floor if you can't. Soften your chest. Release your shoulders. Draw your inner gaze up and in. And make the mind nice and spacious there. Hold the position and please through your nose, exhale. Final time, please, deep. Suspend the breath in. Become totally still. Body, mind, energy, spacious, expansive. And through the nose, exhale. And slowly And very gently relax the arm posture. Keep the heart lifted up. Relax the hands down into a comfortable position. And do not move. Just sit nice and soft and enjoy. Feel. Be. Listen. And in your mind and in your heart, just reflecting now for a moment on your life right now and the direction of your life right now. The big aspirations you may have, the big obstacles or difficulties you're facing. And without any analyzing, just give a good wish for your life in this kind of energy space of your meditative mind, of your kind of magnetic presence and projection. You can beam a thought, you can project a good wish, a prayer, if you will, from your heart into the heart of life. And sometimes you just feel it work. What is the wish for your life right now? Whatever comes, it's just easy as the breeze, and just let it go. Then you can think of somebody you love, like love, would do anything for love. Maybe it's your mother, or your bestie, or your child, or your animal friend. And think how much you wish for their life to be wonderful, and for them to experience real happiness. And give that wish into life. From your heart to the heart of life. It's called vibrational communication. Love to love. And then maybe even, because we can feel how, just like ourselves, any living thing capable of feeling, that we can feel the wish for any feeling being, any sentient being. We can feel our genuine hearts wishing for happiness to all living things. And you can put that out. And we know it opens our hearts up, if nothing else. Yeah? And inhale. And exhale. And take your arms up and shake them a little bit, just like this. Kind of distribute the energy and ground the energy back into your body. Now, this stanza she's singing here is what I was referencing earlier, kind of synchronistically, when I was saying, let the hammer of your discipline. So do you want to hear the whole poem? Just so beautiful. I want to share it with you. You ready? Okay, this is Guru Nanak from his 38th stanza of his great work, Japji. Let the practice of your discipline be the furnace. Remember, this is a goldsmith who's fashioning the coin. Let the practice of your discipline be the furnace, and let calmness be the goldsmith. Let the mind that knows the difference between truth and falsehood, the intuitive mind, be the anvil on which you hammer. And let what you learn from your own experience be the hammer. So let calmness be the goldsmith, and let the mind that knows the difference between truth and falsehood be the anvil. And let what you learn from your own experience be your hammer. Love it. Take your fear and use it to stoke the fires of your own spiritual discipline. And let love be the pot in which the nectar of self-awakening is poured. From that, fashion the coin of speaking and living in truth. Those upon whom you look kindly, O Great Spirit, will act in this way. Nanak, the divine gaze, bestows a continuous grace which completes everything. They call it a dristi, the gaze. And in yoga practice, you put your gaze there. They say put your dristi there. But in astrology, they talk that same thing with the grahas, the planets. And so they say you have a Saturn thing happening in your life, like a Saturn transit. They say they call that the dristi of Shani, Saturn, the gaze of Saturn. But when you have a Jupiter transit, you have the gaze of Jupiter. And people tend to like the gaze of Jupiter and dislike the gaze of Shani. But the glory of being a yogi is you like them both, actually. You maybe prefer one, but you don't have a choice anyways. And so you go all in and you say, actually, Jai Shani. You say, victory. You say thank you. Even for the hardships, you say thank you. And so that's all it is when working with astrological concepts. In this way, it was working with mythological principles, really, that are the actual show you the psyche, the architecture of the human psyche. Because everybody who's maybe, I don't know, believe in astrology, do you have what is the flow of prosperity in your life? That's what Jupiter is. And prosperity in this sense, because it's like the 9th house of Dharma, is the Jupiter prosperity. So it's not prosperity as in a lot of money. It's in prosperity as in your gifts, your experience of life is that your gifts are just overflowing. That's a state of being. That's not an external state, but it does affect the external state as well. That's real prosperity. That's Jupiter magnetics. Where Saturn magnetics is what gives you backbone, makes you a real person, makes you aware that you are suffering and others are suffering, and it'll open the heart of compassion. Mars is what is your ability to get ambition going in your life, your ability to move and have an engine for what your life is all about, and make sure that engine is nice and strong, but also not overheated. Like if somebody's so ambitious, you'll achieve your dreams and then realize that it was just kind of like the whole thing of what I thought it was. It's not that the dream, I was successful. It's not like that's not significant and wonderful and beautiful, but it didn't fulfill the thing I wanted. And so my ambitiousness got me to somewhere where then I realized, and that's the good part about it, is actually what I was after was a mirage. And that at first it might feel like the carpet gets pulled out from underneath us, but eventually, what does it do? If you're working with it in a good way, it reveals the thing that will actually fulfill you. So you can find fulfillment by also just negating away the things that you tried to get fulfillment through. And it showed you didn't. But if you only do that through trial and error, it can be a mess, right? So we try to cultivate wisdom along the way. Venus magnetics is your style of experiencing love. How are you going to experience love? Giving and receiving love. And what is the creativity of your life? Venus. Creativity is not just Venus. It's a big part of it. And then you go into Mercury magnetics, and that's your ability to speak your truth, communicate. It's your intelligence. Buddha is the name in India for Mercury. Buddha, what gives you, when Guru Nanak is saying, the mind that knows the difference between truth and falsehood. That's the Buddhi they call. The Buddha is the one who is awakened. And then you have the sun, which is what you're all about, what makes you feel proud, like your sense of self-confidence, and your sense of innate royalty about you. The relationship may come and go, the money may come and go, but if you're connected to the innate depth of you, your confidence won't go anywhere. You'll know that it's even those things that are falling apart are actually going to make you even greater in the long run, but it might be hard for a minute. But you won't be too worried about it because you trust life. And that's what it is. Moon is your ability to experience emotional bliss. Yeah? So that's what we're doing over the eclipse weekend. 2 weeks from this full moon is the new moon and the eclipse comes. And every fall we do a multi-day immersion and we broadcast it everywhere. And it's the biggest production we do all year. This one will be in the Catskills of upstate New York at one of my favorite places in the world, the Menla Mountain Retreat, which is run by Tibet House from Bob Thurman, and it's really created for Dalai Lama. But it's an amazing place, but what we're going to be doing, that's been filled up for some time. But in Life Force Academy, our thing is we specialize in virtual experiences of this stuff. That's what we're, I think, really good at, and getting these things to transmit into your home in a way that's awesome. Cinematic, music. These are really special events, and this year we're able to do it over this big eclipse weekend. And that's what I was just actually going through, is really the backbone of the sessions of how of each of this event works. And starting on Wednesday evening, Jupiter magnetics. Thursday morning, Saturn magnetics. This is not an intellectual study of astrology. It's just bringing those energies alive. It's called tuning up your prosperity, tuning up your commitment level in your life. What should I be committed to? Only you can decide that. It's not about some other people. Like, here's the things to commit to. Here's our 10 rules or whatever it is. None of that. It's like you tuning into you. And it's like we already really know where life is asking us for greater backbone. And it's being present with it enough so at the end of this thing, you're bringing that to it in a more substantive way. And then you go, everybody can see all of them if you want. And the Mars magnetics is in the afternoon, and then it goes. And you don't have to be there live. Not everybody's going to be able to be there live, because we're going to be on New York time. And we have people in over 100 countries who do this stuff. So as soon as the session is done, it's there for you. And you can do it anytime. But if you can do it live, it's fantastic, of course. And then on Saturday is the eclipse. The Ring of Fire eclipse is happening. If you've never done the practices like during an eclipse, it's worth experiencing. It's very cool. And it's very palpable, my experience. Very palpable. Fantastic, especially when we'll already have such good momentum into this thing by the time Saturday rolls around. It's going to be so fun. It sounds like a lot. Oh my God, all that yoga maybe it's the hardest parts, I think, like session 1, session 2, because you're just getting used to it, putting yourself in the energy, putting yourself in a new momentum, because now still all your other things from life are still distracting us. If you can like invite a friend to do it with you, that's awesome, because then you kind of just do it together and there's less distractions, because now you have your friend and you can't be like on your phone when she's trying to meditate, etc. Right? So that's fun if you can do it like that. Best to have a nice good screen and good sound, but also works great with earbuds and an iPhone. Works great in a closet. I remember when when my boy he's about to turn 18, when he's a little toddler, I used to do stuff in the closet. Now I would just like hide in the closet and do my meditation practice. It was a walk-in closet though. It wasn't like I had a little room. So anyways, that's what this is, and it's called a shining jewel. Mastery of your magnetism, because what the planetary system does, it allows you to actually work through your magnetism step by step by step. Venus, Sun, Moon. It's going, okay, you don't care about your Mercury, but do you care if you can have healthy if you have the ability to communicate what you feel in life? You can't communicate what we feel in life. It's going to also be a mess eventually, right? If you're going to have a relationship, and sometimes communicate difficult things to feel. It's called speaking your truth. And that becomes easier and easier when you just open things up, and it's no longer like our ego is getting in the way of us communicating something. Yeah, so at first it's like, it feels like attacking me, or because we get resistance with this stuff, because there must be something wrong with me. It's like, no. It's like something is so right with you that we want it to get it out and to shine. And so this stuff is like just noticing the tendencies I have that cause me miserableness, And that's liberating. That's courageous, you know. It's sexy when you can just like be yourself, and you don't need as much verification from your outer world for you to just be you. So that's what this work is about, and it's fun. The music is exceptional. We have live musicians in all the afternoon sessions. The great Robert Thurman, Tenzin Bob, one of my mentors and friends, and one of the great Buddhist teachers in the world. He's legendary. That's going to be a special session in the evening, Thursday evening. It's going to be a special concert Friday evening. You can do all of it. You can do some of it. You can do none of it. But it's a good deal right now if you get in, and it's on sale. And all the details are on there. You can see all the sessions on your webpage. What else? It's the regular price is $5.95. And there's two options. There's one option where it's the full package, where you join in and you have lifetime access to everything. But this, and by the way, if that full package, the Life Force Academy is also thrown in an additional course to sweeten the pot, to hopefully get you to join. And that you get, I taught a course in Maui in the spring of this year. Amazing event with this music. This is from that course. This is all this band was there, and all the sessions, 2-hour, 3-hour sessions. It's a combination of Dharma teaching like this and practices with this band playing. It's really good. We've thrown that in as just a gift if you join this eclipse retreat, the Shining Jewel. By the way, it's called the Shining Jewel because the area of the sky that this eclipse is happening in is called Chitra Nakshatra, the area of the sky, the lunar mansion called Chitra, which means multicolored. And its symbol is a shining jewel. And that's it straddles the last part of Virgo and the first part of Libra, this Chitra. And so it's more about that when we're there. But it's a wonderful, powerful energy, and its symbol is a shining jewel, and that's why this is called a shining jewel, is the name of this eclipse retreat. But each one of us will be the shining jewel by the end of it. That's the idea. I'm very confident we'll deliver. I think so. And so anyways, the full package gets all that, and you have lifetime access to download these, stream these, the eclipse retreat that's happening. And there's and it's 40% off right now, so that's excellent. It's only $379, regular $595. And then last thing, for the first time ever, we made a live stream package, and it's more cost efficient. So for people who just still can't do that, we've made this, and it's only $279. That's over 50% off, and that. You can stream it all weekend, anytime all weekend, but then after the course is over, your access is gone, but it's much less expensive. So there's two good options there. They're both on sale. They're both at a great deal right now. That's our offer to you, and hoping that if you're feeling the call and you would like to spend this eclipse time, which I think is like on a week like this, a big eclipse. I don't know. To me, this is the kind of thing I want to be doing. This is the types of activity I want to be doing. And you turn something that can be a little bit edgy to something that was like one of the best weeks ever. And never forget it. That's my experience with these. They're so fun. So that's what's up. Thanks everybody for being here tonight. It's a pleasure. Happy full moon. And make sure to keep in touch. Even if you can't do this with us or don't want to do this with us, check out our Life Force Academy membership, and it's every week we're doing things like this. It's easy to be a part of. Just stay in touch. Thank you for being here, and thank you for making some time to be a part of this collective experience. Take the hands into the prayer mudra again, and to seal this session together. Satnam. Satnam. Thank you, everyone. Happy full moon. Have a beautiful day, beautiful evening. Hope to see you in the October 11th through the 14th or 15th? Through the 15th. See you there. Satnam. Have a great day.
I'm so grateful to be at home and to have a magic space. And it's really helped me carve out my boundaries.
You know, meditating and doing yoga by yourself can sometimes be it's difficult to stay motivated.
I just wanted to say that the energy that has been radiating from the virtual Zoom has been electrifying.
The effects that I was having just at home by myself practicing were tremendous. I mean, the bliss and the real love of just living life and being around other people was palpable.
We all need the consciousness to change. We all need the introspection, and what you're offering is guiding so many people to do it. So
his love, his kindness, his wisdom, his insight, like all of it is just such an incredible blend.
Simra and Jai really cultivate, and all of the team cultivate such a beautiful experience.
But it turned out kind of fun. I could do the virtual from anywhere I wanted.
What we can do in several days is we can create a substantive momentum for ourselves. We can really plug into the source of our happiness and confidence and creativity, and we can gain good perspective on our lives to take our baby steps.
Kundalini's really helped me cultivate the energy to stay focused and present, and to help move blockages.
Doing it online is kind of almost doing it in present. It's like really, you get the same exactly benefits.
And even at home, you do really feel part of the community, you know? Like I really felt like this was my new family.
My first online session, the shift in my thinking, in my attitude, the increased happiness, it's like nothing else that I've ever done online. Nothing else.
Just the general teachings of Jaidev and his humor, his love, his kindness, his wisdom, his insight, like all of it is just such an incredible blend.
If we can create a little bit of time to not only do good exercises, center our life force, but to also arouse our wish for real happiness in the conditions of happiness, which means that I'm wishing for you to have real happiness in the conditions of happiness. Everybody wants happiness, so all it's really promoting is happiness through happiness training.